Hello.
Hello. Up, here comes Ken. All right. Good evening, everyone. It is 7:01 p.m. I will call the January 7th, 2025 Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present. And if it's okay with the board, to skip over the Pledge of Allegiance since we're online.
Yeah, I wondered how we would do that.
Yeah. It in the past, we've taken it off, but we neglected to do that.
Okay.
Is that okay with you, Ken?
We're good with that.
Okay. All right,
Yep.
moving on to agenda item 3, approval of minutes, Board of Selectmen meeting 12/17/2024. I'll make a motion, we approve those meeting minutes.
Second,
Okay, any discussion on the minutes?
no.
Nope, nothing for me.
Yep, me neither. All in favor of approving the minutes as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Correspondence. Oh, that's what I had up on my, hold on. Okay, correspondence we received from the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. The November 2024 call log for Troop D. Troopers responded to 101 calls for service in the town of Thompson. Of those calls, most notable were 6 accidents, 22 investigations, 1 burglary, 1 larceny, 72 non-reportable matters. In addition to the investigations, troopers also conducted the following motor vehicle enforcement, which included 3 DUIs and 1 traffic citation. And that was for the month of November. Any other correspondence to present to the board tonight?
I don't have anything.
All right.
I don't have anything either.
All right, so we will move on to selectmen comments, agenda item 5.
I don't have any real comments. I just want to remind everybody that it's to stay warm, and I believe our warming center, our place to go if it's cold is it the library or is
Library.
it the library? Okay, that's what I thought. Just in case somebody has any issues with heat or needs to get warm, the library.
Yeah.
I hope everyone had a happy new year and a safe and fun holiday.
Yep.
But I really don't have anything. Ken? Other than, hopefully everybody stays warm. They're still on the fence for a couple of possible inches of snow on the weekend. We'll find that out as the week goes on. The only other comment that I have is I did receive the correspondence from the HR person there for the change in hours. Okay, I did read that. I did see what is being done with it. I just want to point out a couple of things that I observed in it. I know that it's already, been done and taken care of as far as being put through. The reducing from 40 to 35 is a reduction in hours for the same amount of pay, where the hours were 40. Trying to remember everything here. The listing of any hours over 35 can be possibly problematic because you're telling minimum is 35, they were working 40 and beyond. I don't understand the total rationale for the changes. I am in favor of paying our personnel what they deserve, so that way we do have them here to continue to serve for a long period of time. But what it does constitute is a by the reduction is a 12.5% pay increase if they work the minimum of 35 hours. And with that, I'm not saying anything more than that.
Well, since you're bringing it up, I'm happy to share my comments on it. Number one, this is incentivizing people that work in general over 40 hours per week. It doesn't mean this is a baseline. It's a baseline. When the weeks are busy and they're working 40 or 50 hours or going to 2 or 3 meetings on any given week, there'll be weeks that are lighter. And so it's a little bit of, it's a slight reward to say, to incentivize so that we can retain the department heads that are so invaluable to the town. And that was the thought process behind it. It's to reward and incentivize and to retain people that are valuable to us. And the department heads that are in place within Town Hall are extremely valuable. And because we are one of the lower paid towns in this region, we are at risk for losing any one of them at any given time. So that was just a way to say, we expect you to do what it takes to get the job done. And the majority of the time, that means they're working more than 40 hours. But if there's a week that they don't have meetings, they can fall a little bit short of that 40 hours and not be worried about somebody bringing it up. It's just a new baseline is all it is.
Can I just clarify something? This was not a reduction in hours. Am I correct? This is a
Correct.
minimum that we are asking they're being asked to work in the town hall 35 hours, correct?
Correct. They're
And
just to be during town hall hours.
And this is for salaried employees.
Correct.
That a lot of their job or some of their job requires them to go to meetings after hours or in the rec director's position on the weekends or beyond, above and beyond, correct?
Right. And we've had
35 hours.
We've
So
had department
again,
heads in the past, including our former library director, and that worked 35 hours. So there were some directors that worked 35 and others that, for whatever reason, were in their contract, it was laid out that they had to meet the minimum of 40 hours.
So
So
we're not asking them to work, they're not getting a 12% increase or they're not getting a 5-hour reduction in hours. They're still being asked to work 40 hours a week. Am I correct?
Yes,
But if
They-
they work,
if they need to get their
If they-
job done.
right, it's a salaried position, Ken. Some days I work 12 hours, some days I work 6 hours. I'm salaried, so I don't punch a clock. I have a standard 9 to 5 job. But if I don't have work and I'm completely caught up one day, I don't have to work an 8-hour day. But there are other days that I work 12 hours a day. That's kind of how salary works. It's until the job is done.
Oh, we're in full agreement with how salary works. If you have exorbitant amount of meetings, you've got extra staff in your office and you put in your minimum of 35 and you've worked 40, you go home early that day. Or you work a half a day. I have no problem with that. That's what salary is.
So I'm not understanding why you think that they reduce their hours.
Their contracts were 40 hours. They, on certain individuals that are non-union, except for the highway department, which is a 40-hour contractual position, which is in their contract. But when you go from 40 to 35, and the minimum is 35, there is nothing that says they have to work beyond that 35. And listing those hours after that you work beyond the 35 can possibly lead to a labor issue where they say, hey, my contract says 35 hours a week. I put in 40. I wish to be paid for the 5 hours that I work above and beyond.
Amy, did anyone's contract change?
They're exempt
Right.
to overtime, and they know that. And currently, many of them are working 45 or 50 hours in any given week.
So changing the hours from 40 to 35, and if you left it at 40, it makes no difference.
It does make no difference, Ken.
Right? They could have stayed
Because
right
they're
at 40.
still
It didn't
going
need
to
be
put
adjusted.
in the time needed to get their job done.
All right. It's just how I see it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I made comment because I did not want to make comment on it because I hadn't seen the memo. I saw the memo. That's how I see it.
Yep.
And we go on from there.
Right.
Well, I don't want anyone to be confused out there and think that their hours have been reduced because they haven't. Their contracts have not changed, correct?
There's an addendum to the
There's an
contract.
addendum.
There's
You
an
got a copy
addendum
of
to
it,
the
Suzanne,
contract.
just like I did.
Right.
Yes, I did get copied on it.
They
Yes,
will work what they need to work just as they do now to get their.
that's right. There's an addendum.
And many of them go to 1 or 2 meetings on any given week. So.
Okay.
But anyways,
I don't have anything else.
on another note, I just wanted to point out that on January 16th, just a reminder, at 6 p.m., there is the public hearing with the Siting Council in regard to the Pompeo Road solar project. I will be streaming it in the Cine room for an
What-
hour. We'll see how long, and they might have to move to another office, or we might do it on the second floor conference room in the Norman Babbitt room. Because the Board of Finance meets that evening as well. That's
Just to refresh, what time was that?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. Thank you.
Yep. And if it's not up yet, we'll get it up this week. There is a Zoom link, so it is virtual. And then January 22nd, second reminder, town meeting. We have the town meeting for the ordinance change and the new ordinance on purchases within the town. And then I also wanted to point out January 29th, America's 250th Celebration Planning Committee meets at 6 p.m. in the Cine conference room. We're getting to the point where we're going to be branching off into subcommittees, and we do need a lot of volunteers for many of the events that will be occurring starting this October in 2025 and then going all the way through 2026. So we need as many volunteers as possible. So if you're available and you'd like to take part in planning and executing some of these events to celebrate America's 250th birthday, 6 p.m. January 29th. And then the last thing, if you've all seen it, our Veteran of the Month, who we will be honoring at our next Board of Selectmen meeting, is Renee Therian. She's our first female veteran. Served in the United States Air Force National Guard started in 1987, and then re-enlisted after 9/11, and served in the Army National Guard for several years. So great veteran, looking forward to honoring her at our next meeting. And that's all I have. If there are no other selectmen comments, I will move on to agenda item 6, citizen comments. Any citizen comments? Just feel free to unmute, state your name and address, please. All right, seeing none, we will move on to agenda item 7, Thompson's 250 logo design contest winner. We only had 3. Marie should have sent the 3 of you the results. We only had 3 submissions. The winner, the committee has chosen Dave Lab's design because it in particular met 2 of the criteria that was very important. One was people's choice. And then the second was the suitability as a logo and the ability to reproduce the logo. I would say that the other 2 designs that were submitted, including Avery Wachowski's, was absolutely a better reflection of Thompson. But there were 3 criterias. One was the people's choice. The second was suitability for use as a logo and reproduction of it as a logo. And the third was the best reflection of Thompson. So the committee did choose Dave Lab's design. So
we're lucky to have Dave Labs, and it's a beautiful logo, a beautiful design. The other 2 were fabulous. Avery's only 12 and she wanted to enter. It's her first time entering anything like that. So I was very proud of her for giving it a try. And
she was
Deb
pretty
LeBlanc,
close. She was pretty close in close to Dave on the people's choice.
Yeah, she was. And Deb LeBlanc's, I thought that really represented Thompson as well.
Yes.
And she did a great job too. So
Yes.
we were lucky to have 3. It's just Dave's was, it's just you know, it's
It's kind of
yeah.
what he does.
it's kind of what he does, and we're lucky to have Dave.
We are, because he does so much for the community. He does so much for the town of Thompson, and all of the groups within Thompson and beyond. So he's also going to be working on a mural for Town Hall for
Oh,
the
nice.
celebration for America's 250.
And
So,
you know, I hope that we have other opportunities to do this kind of thing,
mhm.
where we put it out, you know, where it's an art contest or something, even if it's not for a logo or if it's just something else, because I think that we could put it out to our schools and maybe get more kids and more people involved.
Yeah,
I
Anytime,
really like this.
any public participation we get is always a wonderful thing.
yeah,
I agree. I agree.
for sure. Any other thoughts or comments on the logo?
Don't look great.
Yep.
And thank you to all the people that submitted.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, agenda item 8, Survey Monkey results. Town administrator and board of selectmen. So we did it as one solid question, knowing that we had discussed potentially if we had a town administrator, we would increase maybe the board of selectmen. So we just kind of put it out there as one question. The responses were 61% no, that they did not want the change, and 38, almost 39% yes. I don't know how you guys feel. It is just a survey, but it's pretty definitive. And we did ask Michelle, and Michelle Jamarnaro, our HR director, is on with us today. She did some research if you were interested in hearing what her research concluded.
Can I ask a question about the survey itself?
Mhm.
Is it something that you can only vote once? You can only put your survey in once
From
or
each device. So
from
if you
each
had,
device?
right,
Okay.
but if you had an iPhone, to my knowledge, if you had an iPhone and it's linked to the same email account,
Okay. Okay.
you should still only be able to vote once, but I could be wrong on that. So, oh, did we
So-
freeze? Okay.
Nope. Nope. So
It gave
that
us-
was just my question. I just wanted to know how, because, you know, you can stack the blocks by going from device to device or that kind of thing. But if you can only do it once
Mhm.
and your email is associated to a different device, then it's probably pretty fair.
Yeah.
I definitely see changes coming in the future. It may not be this election cycle or the next one after, but I think as things become more and more difficult, more and more paper oriented, etc., that continuity and stuff is a very strong possibility that we're going to have to eventually move on to.
I think the toughest thing has always been the pool of candidates. That have the ability to, if they're running a business or they have a career, have the ability to come in and do the first selectman's job as a full-time job, because that's really what it is. And of course, our salary range to attract someone to leave, someone who's really qualified, as we've heard Sean Brissett say in the past, to run a $30 million business, can't leave generally to work for the salary that's being offered to the first
Right.
selectman. So I've had sort of a slight leave of absence from my business, but every weekend I work. So, yeah, it's tough, but are you guys interested? Do you want to hear what Michelle has to share with us tonight?
Absolutely. Michelle did the work, then
did
I
the
want to
work.
hear it. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So I looked at very specific towns in regards to town administrator with a first selectman, board of selectmen reporting structure. The ones that I looked at all report to the first selectman and the board of selectmen. They all have they're all a key stakeholder for budgeting, managing the resources, facilities, equipment, technology. They are the day-to-day manager of the town hall. They provide the strategic leadership, developing and implementing policies and programs. They are the main contact for freedom of information, for risk management, pistol permits, and they work very closely with every single department in the town, as well as all the boards. So it is a challenging job. I will tell you that the majority of the salaries fall between 58,710 and 105,378. But I will tell you the top 10% earners are making over 150,000. I actually did find one town that pays their town administrator 196,000. What I did find interesting, on Winnie Radio on January 3rd, they had NECOG's executive director, Jim Rivers, on there, and they just posted a position for a shared town administrator for Canterbury, Chaplin, and Pomfret. So I'm kind of watching that to see how that goes, because it was definitely an interesting article and an interesting pamphlet to read on the job description for this. I personally live in a town that has a town administrator, and I will tell you, they also have a board of 5 selectmen, and the town of Sutton is seamless with everything with our town administrator. And in fact, he's retiring this year after 20-something years. So we are devastated about that. But it is a seamless transition, going from a board of selectmen to a board of selectmen with the town administrator. And it would free you up to continue your day-to-day jobs. You wouldn't have to take a leave of absence, and you wouldn't have to manage both careers at the same time. The big thing is the salary. The salary is huge.
Michelle, I'm interested in Canterbury and Pomfret and Chaplin. They currently have a board of selectmen or a selectman
Yes.
running
Yes.
their towns, don't they? So they're
Yeah.
transitioning. I know Canterbury is had the same selectman for quite a while.
Yes, this is
Pomfret as
brand
well.
new.
What's that?
It's brand new. It just came out on January 3rd. I really hadn't even had that much time to
Yeah.
look into it. When I saw it late yesterday because I was going back through Facebook.
That's a program that NECOG's been trying to put together. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel as a board, but I find it, they're not gonna lose their selectmen.
No,
First selectman is still gonna have to be there day to day. To share a town administrator amongst 3.
That's what I was trying to figure out. How are they gonna,
Counterintuitive.
how
It
are
doesn't
they
make any
is it
sense.
gonna be more of a grant writing, or no, that wouldn't make sense either. So I don't know,
So-
because
I mean, I've known it's been going on. I personally think it just seems strange, but I mean, we'll see how it pans out, like Michelle said.
so in the position details, it does say that this employee is actually an employee of NECOG. The
Right.
shared town administrator will work
Oh.
under the supervision of the executive director and will receive significant direction from each of the 3 towns' first selectmen, who will serve as their supervisor for work being conducted in each town. I will send you the information I found on it so that you guys can read it over and everything. I'm very interested to see how this goes.
keep us in the loop on that one.
Oh,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna-
all,
Fails if you, because that's interesting to me as well, to see how that's gonna play out.
Mhm.
all 3 of those towns, their populations are probably under 5,000.
Right.
It does have their population. I believe it has them here.
Canterbury, I thought was a little bit bigger. Pomfret's probably around 5,000, 5 to 7 maybe.
What was the other,
And-
what was the third town? Was it
Chaplin.
Chaplin.
Okay.
Chaplin, I don't know as much about.
Hmm.
Canterbury has 5,067.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said
Chaplin
5.
has 2,229, and Pomfret has 4,289.
Oh, I thought Pomfret had more than that.
Yeah, well, that's current numbers, I guess. From based on this
So it's about
information.
12 or 13,000 if you combine them. Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Mhm.
looking at around 11 to 12,000 total. It might work.
Yeah.
for-
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
I just thought it was
Still-
interesting and I wanted to bring it up.
But sharing a town administrator doesn't take the full-time work out of the first selectman.
No,
So they're still paying a first selectman
Right.
salary.
So they're adding an additional layer.
Right.
yes.
I mean, granted, it's still.
And
it
that's
does-
not what we were looking to do.
Right,
No.
and it does, the one thing it does is bring some continuity as far as somebody that oversees staff, not going away in the next election. So, but, yeah.
It'd be something to watch to see how that pans out.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you
Definitely.
guys feel, how do you both, Suzanne and Ken, feel about the survey? I mean, I know when we did the survey on the town clerk and the tax collector, it was pretty, I think it was a greater spread than what this one is. But are you content with just putting this to bed for now and maybe bringing it up in the distant future? What? How do you feel about it?
I don't know.
I'd probably put it on the back burner for the moment. We're going into budget season. We're gonna have our hands full. But it doesn't mean that it can't come up in, the months ahead.
Right.
But I think-
I don't know, because I really feel that it's in the best interest of Thompson, and I question if people truly understand the design of it that we've talked about. And
Well, I was approached by at least 3 people over the course of the last few weeks since we had published it. A couple of people in the grocery store, and then I don't remember where I saw the third person, and they were just questioning it because they didn't completely understand what we were trying to do. And I think I shared good information with them as far as the intent and the thought behind it. So, yeah.
I think it would be beneficial not to let it die out just because of one survey, but to keep putting information out there. And maybe, like, Michelle is being attacked by a kitten. I'm sorry.
Mine's in
The
here
sharp
somewhere.
little claws. Putting information out there so that we can really educate the public, the townspeople, on what it is that we're looking to do, that we're not looking to totally change how we govern, but just to add an administrator to run the day-to-day function, and how that would be designed and paid for, and yes, I guess it would, based on the salaries that Michelle mentioned, those are substantial, and it's
Right.
that's the one I cringe at, but
that's the top 10% that are making that. Like the town that was paying 196,000 was Wilton,
Wilton,
Connecticut.
Yeah, you're on the Gold Coast. You're in the
Okay,
money area.
I live in Massachusetts.
No, that-
Bolton pays
Southwest
100
Connecticut.
What
Bolton
is,
pays 170,000, Weston pays 68,000. Columbia pays 121,000. So, and I'm still working on getting more and more. And
What
more.
is Putnam pay?
Columbia would be more like us.
Putnam, the HR person was out, so I never got to speak to her. But I am working on that with her. I will
Okay.
get to Mariah.
Yeah, that would be good to have a little more information on that.
Mhm. I did when I looked at Putnam, that was a unique situation, and I will look at that one based on salary. But again, when I looked at similar towns, I went specifically with first selectman select board, where Putnam has the
Putnam has a
mayor
mayor.
and the selectmen. So I kind of stayed away from those, but I can expand my search if you'd like. I have no issues doing that whatsoever. And what I was gonna say is I can also start working on a preliminary job description for you guys. That way there, if you want to, put it out there, see if that generates any interest or questions, so that we can give the town more and more information.
I think that would be great if you have the time.
I do. Absolutely for you guys, I do.
Thank you.
It's budget season, but I'll be online every night.
thank you, Michelle. I appreciate what
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, any other thoughts on that topic?
No, I think we're good at this point.
All right. Suzanne, you're good?
Yes, thank you.
All right, so moving on to agenda item 9. I would like to make a motion that we approve the appointment of 2 new constables, Terry G. Johnson and Rhonda Lee Neves, with a term to expire November 18th, 2025.
Second.
Let's wait for Ken to come back. Do you have any
Sorry.
thoughts on that?
Nope, I was just reading the
Yeah.
appointments. Yep.
John and Steve are both on.
And
they
knowing,
oversee our
knowing both
constable.
of our two emergency management personnel, they were totally and properly vetted.
Hmm.
I have
John-
no
John
doubts in
and-
my mind.
John and Steve, are these individuals both on the CERT team as well? Are they? Doesn't look like you having audio issues? I thought their applications, I was pretty sure they were both on the CERT team.
Yeah, I'm fine with both their applications and
Okay.
knowing that, as Ken said, John and Steve vetted them, I'm sure, and.
Oh, yeah, they're both Northeastern Connecticut CERT members.
Yep,
Right.
All right, if there's no other discussion on these two candidates, all in favor of approving the appointment of Terry G. Johnson and Rhonda Lee Neves with a term to as constables with a term to expire November 18th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, any other business to bring before the board tonight?
I don't have anything.
I have nothing.
All right, I don't either. Citizen comments, agenda item 11, citizen comments. Just feel free to unmute, state your name and address for the record. All right, seeing none. We will move on to agenda item 12, tax refunds. I do not have any tax refunds, so I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn by Suzanne, second by Ken. It is 7:32 PM. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you, everybody. We are adjourned.
Have a good
a good
evening,
night.
and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.